Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 61 of Sooner Girl Sports Pod. You guys are going to love today's episode with our softball player, Riley Zache. It is a very special episode as she was diagnosed with bilateral hearing loss early last year, and she talks about her journey through all of that and how it's affected her life on and off the field. Now, I did want to note since we recorded this episode several months ago, back in the fall, actually, she has decided to redshirt this season. That is why you have not seen her on the field so far this spring. So I did want to let you guys know of that. I did get permission from her to share that information. She was in a car accident back in the fall, suffered a concussion and some things, and just dealing with some personal stuff. So she is taking a redshirt season this year, but she is planning to be back and better than ever. She cannot wait to play with her sister Berkeley, who is a freshman pitcher for our team this season. So I cannot wait for you guys to hear my interview with Riley Zache. But before we do that, let's hit into this week's Sooner headlines of the week, and would love to thank my sponsors of the show, Marvin's Place, a fine art gallery and listening room located in the Depot District in Ardmore, Oklahoma. Come experience amazing artwork, and on Friday nights, visit the Listening Room, an intimate and unplugged venue. We host singer and songwriters on Friday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Come relax with a glass of wine or craft beer and enjoy some wonderful music. You can find their music schedule and find out more about their gallery, including all of their art pieces and jewelry, available on their website at marvinsplace.gallery. You can find all of that in the show notes. Also, thank you to Therapy to Go in Ardmore, the funnest place in town to drive through for a drink, and you don't even have to get out of your car. They have a large variety of spirits as well as fountain drinks and snacks. So please stop through and see Allison, Melissa, and the girls and tell them that Sooner Girl Sports Pod sent you for a special gift. Quick injury update. Again, not recording with Dr. Lynan this week, as we've talked extensively about various knee injuries back in the fall during football season, but that is what we're dealing with right now with our softball player, Nellie McEnroe Marinas. She suffered an injury in the game last Sunday on March the 1st. Unfortunately, we found out this past week that she does have a torn ACL and will miss the whole season. Now, a lot of people are talking about her possibility to redshirt again. She has redshirted previously in the past. So if that is on the table again is to be determined, because I cannot remember all the specifics, and I do apologize for not making note of this so I could tell you exact details of the situation, but you can only play in a certain percentage of games from the entire season in order to qualify for a redshirt. Ellie did play in 19 games so far this season. So depending on how deep we make it into the postseason, if we run all the way through June, that could fluctuate a little bit and could affect her ability to attain another redshirt season. But all of that being said, that is obviously not on the table for sure as of right now. We just wish her all the best in her recovery and absolutely cannot wait to see her back in that hot corner next season. She is so fun to watch. But I also want to give a shout out to Sid Barker, Abby Dayton. They have stepped up in their infield duties and are really picking up a lot of slack. And when their number was called, they were there. So I am not concerned at all about losing her. I am sad that we've lost her. I love watching Nellie. I am sad that she won't be with us playing on the field. She will be in the dugout this season, but wish her all the best in her recovery and can't wait to see her again next season. For an injury update, it's kind of an injury update for our women's gymnastics team. Ava Siegfeld was absent from the coach's corner a couple of weeks ago because she was under the weather with the flu. And unfortunately, I guess a couple of other athletes on the team has kind of been going around. And Lily Peterson was one of the latest, quote, victims of the flu, and she missed 2 meets this past week, both of our weekend meets at Arkansas on Friday, and then again our last home meet, unfortunately, that senior day on Sunday against TW. However, she's not a senior, so she didn't miss out on her honors per se, so that is great. But we wish Lily and all of the rest of the team speedy recovery in health and get well soon. Okay, on to our Sooner headlines of the week. Just a quick mention that March is Women's History Month. Now, you know that a lot has changed over the years for women in sports, both on and off the field. I want to make a quick mention. just how crazy this is. And I've spoken about this before with Stacey Dales, Taylor Robertson, Beatrice and Peyton's Coach Cole, some of my basketball episodes that I've had about how the women weren't able to use the March Madness logo and name for their tournament until 2022. That's just 4 years ago. So it was just 4 years ago that we were able to refer to the women's postseason tournament as March Madness, which completely blows my mind. So just a glimpse of some of the things that women's sports have faced over the years and not getting equality. But so much has gone into women's sports over the years, and we should take a time this month, in the month of March, to reflect on Women's History Month, all of the women who have made exceptional historic markers on the sport, not only just for OU, but sports in general. I mean, I'm thinking of so many women just on our softball side with Jocelyn Allo, Lauren Chamberlain, just so many things that different women have done across the world of sports, and how they're making an impact past their collegiate careers, like Stacey Dales impacting the NFL, Nicole Mendez, DJ Sanchez, Destiny McElroy, Tina Floyd, Coach Amber Flores, a lot of those former Sooners making impacts on and off the field still today. So I just want to give a shout out. There's so many women, and I've had some amazing guests on this show, a lot of them being women. Obviously, that is my main focus, to give a voice to women such as myself in the world of sports and to highlight those women. And so go back and scroll through all of the episodes of the show, especially if you're a new listener. I just started last January of 2025. This is episode 61, so you may have a little catching up to do, but there's been some fabulous women on this show. I don't want to discount anyone by starting to name names, but I encourage you maybe this month for Women's History Month to take the time to go back, give a listen to some of these episodes, give a follow to these great women on social media, and check out what they're doing for the world of sports. It's just truly incredible. Okay, for football in the NFL, in case you missed it, Jalen Hurts was on Good Morning America on Monday, March the 9th, to talk about his new children's book that is releasing on Tuesday, March the 10th. So when this episode drops, all of this will be already available for you to rewatch or to order the book. It is on Amazon. It's such a cool thing that he's doing. He talks a little bit more on his GMA interview on social media about why he wrote the book. Also, in case you missed it, Kyler Murray was officially released from the Cardinals. Now, I've been talking about this happening for quite some time. It did actually officially happen just this past week. So up in the air right now where he will be playing next season for the NFL. There's been some rumors, some speculation about him, quote, possibly returning to baseball. His agent made some mentions about how some teams still may have some interest in him for that. I don't know what direction he's going to go. I think Kyler still has a lot of football left in him, but nevertheless, Kyler is an excellent athlete who has a fantastic future ahead of him. I have no doubt. So stay tuned. As soon as there is an update on where he will be heading, I will be sure to let you know. Also, Joe Mixon was released by the Texans. There's been some shuffling going around in the NFL. Some of our Sooners have already signed some new contracts and new deals and things like that. So I will keep you updated on those as best as I can. Also, spring media happened today with Coach Venables, Jim Nagy, and some of our players, especially our transfer portal players, again on Monday, March the 9th. So go check out the OU football social media, especially on Twitter. George Stoya and the Sooner Scoop guys, we're posting a lot of information and quotes from those guys. So if you want to get to know some of our new portal additions to the football team, definitely be sure and go check that out. Also, don't forget the spring football game is on Saturday, April the 18th, and the kickoff is at noon. And don't forget that weekend also is baseball, softball, and tennis. Women's tennis hosts the SEC tournament that weekend. So there's lots going on in Norman, lots of opportunities to stick around and support your Sooners throughout the weekend. Quick note on the Future Freaks weekend that was this past weekend, hosted by our football program for the 2027 recruiting class. We now have the #1 recruiting class in the nation from the commitments that came from hosting this past weekend. It is an annual recruiting event for juniors. Some of those names that, if you follow recruiting, you may recognize tight end Seneca Driver, safety Jalen Scott, O-line Tyson Ross, and QB Jamison Roberts were just some of the commits that we attained from that weekend. Okay, on to men's basketball. Senior night versus Missouri last week. We had a great win on the hardwood, 80-64. Jadon Jones, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals. We, at that point, had won 5 of the last 7 games, which was the momentum we needed as we headed to Austin this past Saturday. If you guys missed that game, you truly missed something. Now, I did not watch that game. I was attending the men's gymnastics meet, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. But I did follow it, of course, and I was superstitious since I started out not watching and we were winning. I refused to turn the game on the drive home. I have since gone back and watched most of that game. Of course, our guys went into overtime in Austin. Truly incredible. That win, 88-85, knocked Texas out of the round 1 bye of the SEC tournament that starts this week, which was probably the most hilarious part of the whole thing. We did the improbable and won 6 of our last 8 games, including the last 4 in a row. We have the second longest win streak in the SEC currently as we head into the tournament later this week. Just some quick stats from that incredible performance in Austin. Nigel Pack, 23 points. X had 21. Tay, 14. Darion Reed, 11. Mo, 8. Dayton, 5. Kirill, 4. Jadon, 2. And Kai had 1 rebound. OU is 4-2 since the popcorn machine fire last month. In case you missed it, go check out social media. I know Toby Rowland posted it on both his Twitter and Instagram. A video of Dayton Forsyth with a cutout that the student section had of our popcorn fire and making fun of us, obviously trying to troll us, and literally that backfired on them, and somehow Dayton ended up with it on the bus. Just hilarious. So next up for our guys is Wednesday night versus South Carolina in round 1 of the SEC tournament. So the day that this episode drops tonight, Wednesday night, March the 11th, South Carolina, 8:30 p.m. If we win that game, we will on Thursday night play Texas A&M. Win that game, we would play Arkansas on Friday. And that's as far as I'll go for now. But I think we have a pretty good path to get a couple of wins in the tournament, possibly make it to the semis. That would be incredible. So best of luck to our guys on the hardwood. Can't wait to see how that works out. They are currently on the outside of the bubble, so to speak, for the NCAA tournament. So depending on how things pan out this week in the SEC tournament, I think will determine a lot of their fate going forward. So be sure and stay tuned for that. Our women's basketball team has a number 7 ranking. Reagan Beers, all SEC honors, but somehow, despite tying the conference record for freshman of the week honors at 8, Elia Chavez was not named the SEC Freshman of the Year. Instead, it went to Vanderbilt, Aubrey Galvin. Chavez did make second team All-SEC and All-Freshman team. Here's a quote from Tyler Neal on Twitter/X. Some notes about Elia Chavez. SEC record 8-time Freshman of the Week. Led the league's freshmen in points per game by 5.5 points. Among SEC freshmen, points per game, assists per game, she led those categories. She's the only freshman in the league to be named an All-SEC team, second team, first OU freshman since Courtney Parrish to be named at least the second team. She's the first freshman of the week to win 6 times or more and not be freshman of the year for the conference. And the last one is the biggest. If Galvin is freshman of the year, then why didn't the coaches put her on the All-SEC team? We don't know. It's truly mind-boggling. It makes 0 sense. Moving along, Elia Chavez is just going to use that for fuel for her fire moving forward in the postseason. Sooners got a first round bye in the SEC tournament last week. We had an 82-64 win in round 2 over Florida last Thursday afternoon. Reagan Beers hit 2K points and 1K rebounds in this game. 4 Sooners with double digits in that game. Beers with 18, Chavez with 17, Van with 14, and Stewart with 12. That win progressed us to round 3 of the SEC tournament on Friday, where we faced LSU. And guys, it was ugly. I'm not going to lie. It did not go well. We got blown out by Kim Mulkey's Tigers, 112-78. Kept up fairly well until about the third quarter, but Elia Chavez had broken the Oklahoma record for consecutive free throws with 60 in a row. Now, OU will wait until Selection Sunday to see if it will be a 3 or 4 seed, which will determine their destination for the remainder of the tournament. Now, they will host, or they should host, the first and second rounds in Norman around the weekend of the 20th. So be sure and stay tuned for that. We will find out. Selection Sunday is this coming Sunday, March the 15th. But either way, again, plan to get to Norman and support our girls in the first couple of rounds. Our women's gym team is holding to their number one ranking. Freshman of the week last week was Mackenzie Estep. Again, Lily Peterson absent the last couple of meets due to the flu, but the Sooners did win at Arkansas on Friday night, 197.925 over 197.5. Finished the SEC competition with a perfect 8-0 record. The meet was the highest attended women's gymnastics meet in SEC history at Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville with 15,512 fans in attendance. Oklahoma draws big crowds on the road no matter where they go. Oklahoma is the first SEC team since Florida in 2022 to finish with the undefeated conference record. The Sooners are now 13-0-1 on the year, with that one tie coming with LSU from the Sprout Farmers Market Challenge earlier in the year. Addison Fata secured her 7th all-around title of the season. Mackenzie Estep placed second, just behind Fata with a career high score. In her 3rd all-around appearance, Hannah Shibley won her 3rd vault title, and Ella Murphy claimed her 2nd beam title with a near perfect 9.975. On Sunday at Lloyd Noble was senior day against Texas Women's University. We honored Faith Torres and Ava Siegfeld. We won that meet handily, 198.195 to 195.025. Lily Peterson sadly again missed her 2nd consecutive meet with the flu, which caused a shuffle in the lineouts, but the Sooners showed out and showed up, and they head to Michigan this coming Friday, March the 13th, and you have one more chance to see your Sooners in the state of Oklahoma, not at the Lloyd Noble Center, but in Tulsa at the BOK Center, Saturday, March 21st, SEC Championship. So check out the BOK Center website for ticket information for that. Men's gymnastic, holding on again to their number one ranking. They are ranked in the top 3 in all events. Conference award sweep. Brigham Frithaway is the gymnast of the week last week. Sasha Boganosiuk is the freshman of the week last week, and Nathan Roman specialist of the week. Each earned MPSF conference weekly honors. So congrats to them. And just announced today, we are incredibly proud and honored to have 2 of our amazing seniors among the 6 Nissan Emery Award finalists. This is basically like the Heisman of men's gymnastics. So congrats to Ignacio Yockers, Fuzzy Bennis, who I had on the show just a few weeks ago, for being nominated for that incredible award. This past Saturday night, our men's gymnastics team had an awesome win over Cal on senior night. The Sooners eclipsed their previous nation leading score, which was set last week versus Nebraska at home, by 0.3 of a point. So the score on Saturday night was 331.6 over Cal's 315.7. They swept all 6 event titles again. Ignacio Yockers, Hummel and P-bar, Nico Hamilton floor, Francisco Velez Belendez steel rings, Tyler Flores on the vault, and Kelton Christensen on the high bar. The Sooners are now unbeaten against their last 81 regular season opponents, encompassing 68 consecutive regular season wins inside McCaslin Fieldhouse, dating all the way back to 2007. Only defeat in the Fieldhouse during that time was the 2024 MPSF Championship, where it finished 2nd to Stanford. OU will take a week off from competition before heading to Berkeley, California for a rematch against Cal, and the regular season finale will take place on March 21st. I want to talk a minute about the meet this past Saturday night. I was invited by head coach Mark Williams to be a special guest of his and sit in his VIP section called Mark's Man Cave. And it is a platform on the south end of the field house with some recliners, a nice couch. My husband and I were very honored to get to sit in that section. Just an incredible experience. Mark came over, joined us for a photo. I was up on the big screen. They did an intro of me, talked a little bit about my podcast and what I do. And Coach Mark truly made me feel special. And I got an autographed poster from the team, as well as a couple other goodies. And it just really, truly meant a lot to me that he wanted to recognize me in that way and give me a little VIP treatment. It truly, again, meant a lot. So thanks, Coach Mark. You are a special friend of mine. Coach Mark came out to my 1-year celebration at Coach's Corner last month, and I failed to get a photo with him. I know he was in a hurry. It meant a lot that he even took the time to be able to stop by. I hated that we didn't get a photo, but we made up for that on Saturday. but he's become a dear friend. I love supporting our men's gymnastics team. And I know it's not often that I say a men's program gets overlooked, but they truly do. And I know that that's something that I have said on this show many, many times. Don't sleep on our men's gymnastics team. And unfortunately, your last chance to see them at home was this past weekend, but you can still follow them online. Social media post updates, as well as most of their meets will be available, especially going forward into the postseason on ESPN Plus. So I hope that you'll go give them all a follow. And again, don't sleep on them and watch for their schedule to come out. They usually come out in November, December for the following spring. And get out and see them. It is free admission to support our men's gymnastics team in the field house. Just a unique environment, so much fun. So I encourage you to get out and do that for sure. And in the meantime, again, give them a follow on socials and be sure and watch them on social media. On their meet days, they will post how you can follow the meet and if it is able to be viewed on SEC Network Plus or ESPN Plus. All that information is published on their meet days. So check their social media for that. Also, one more quick shout out. We had 3 Sooner alumni representing their countries at the America Cup this past weekend. Vatelli Gumiarez, I know I'm butchering that name and I do apologize. He represented Brazil. Zach Nunes represented the Philippines. Annual Mulder represented the United States. So shout out to our former Sooners for representing their country as well for that. Our baseball guys, Skip's boys are on a tear for sure. They moved up to number 7 and 9 in the polls, depending on which one you're looking at. They had a midweek Tuesday game last week, a great win over DBU, who has had a hold on our baseball boys for quite some time now. Playing them at home did help, but we held them to no runs. Incredible. A 2-0 win over DBU last week. 8 OU pitchers combined to shut out the Patriots for the first time since 2010. Just truly a really strong night. Dayton LaChance responsible for both of those runs batted in. So shout out to our catcher for that. Weekend series at home was supposed to be a 4-game series, but Friday's game was canceled due to weather. But Thursday night final, Oklahoma 2 over Santa Clara 1. We won a low-scoring battle in that series opener, but Cam Johnson pitched a great game, and Drew Dickerson, our designated hitter for the night, had an RBI, made a difference in the game for sure. Friday's game canceled. Saturday, 8-0 win. LJ Mercurius pitched 6 innings. Another fantastic outing for him. Sunday, 8-6 win. Won our 4th straight game and finished up that sweep of Santa Clara. Bowden had a great pitching outing on that game. LaChance had RBIs and several hits. And Alec Blair, welcome to the Diamond. Our freshman who originally signed to play both basketball and baseball, but earlier this year decided just to stick with baseball. He went 2 of 3 at the plate. 3 RBIs and had a great outing. Next up for our baseball guys, UT Arlington on Tuesday night in Norman. So when this episode airs, this will have been the night before. But this weekend we host number 22 Texas A&M at home in Norman. So get out to the ballpark. I believe the weather is supposed to be absolutely fantastic. So get out and support our guys. Our softball team, shout out to our assistant coach, Folly Palima Steele, who has joined the American Samoa national team coaching staff. You see her on first base with our team during the season. She joins former Sooner Samantha Ricketts, who is the head coach at Mississippi State, as the head coach on that American Samoa national team. So fantastic talent on that team. Can't wait to see them in action this summer. Freshman of the week last week, Lexi McDaniel, has continued to show out on the diamond this weekend as well. We currently have 11 players hitting over 400 on the season. Kai Miner, Abby Dayton, Lexi McDaniel, Ella Parker, Isabella Emmerling, Cassidy Pickering, Nellie. Unfortunately, she's no longer in the lineup since her injury, but she was hitting 462 before she had to go out. Elena Agbayani, Gabby Garcia, Kendall Wells, and Alyssa Parker. We had a great midweek game last week in Denton at UNT. 14-4 run rule in 5 innings. 2 homer inning for Isabella Emmerling. In the 4th inning alone, we had 10 runs, 15 batters, 9 hits, and 4 homers. This past weekend in Norman, we hosted the Okana Invitational. The Friday games were all shuffled around to be played on Saturday and Sunday due to the weather. Game 1 against Abilene Christian, 8-0 run rule. Agbayani, a 2-run homer. Kendall Wells, 2-run homer. Lexi McDaniel, home run. Alyssa Parker pitched 6 innings, only had 2 hits and 4 strikeouts. Sydney Barker makes all 3 plays in 1 inning at the hot corner, taking Nellie's spot. She really got us going and filled in nicely. Big performance by Alyssa Parker in the circle. Just 2 hits allowed in those 6 innings, but more importantly, she only needed 62 pitches. 40 of those went for strikes. Definitely her most efficient outing to date. And she also added a triple out the plate. So she's truly an all-around gem for the Sooners. Game 2 on Saturday, Sooners win. Again, another run rule in 5 over Louisiana, 10-0. Ella Parker, 2 home runs. Cassidy Pickering, a 3-run homer. Lexi McDaniel, Kendall Wells, 2-run homers. Kendall's that day was hit 304 feet out of the back of center field at Love Field. Truly incredible. If you missed the video on that one, you'll want to go and give it a watch on their social media. Another great outing by Audrey Lowry, 4 innings pitched for her, only 1 hit and 5 Ks. OU 18-0 combined score on Saturday. So Kendall Wells, where will she finish in the home run talk after this is all said and done? Jocelyn Allo had 122, Tiara Jennings 98. Lauren Chamberlain, 95. Kendall Wells is already up to number 20, and it's March the 9th. So who knows? She hit more on Sunday, game 1 against Louisiana, 2-1 final. Ella Parker, 2-run home run. Molly Gacchino had a great outing in the circle, 5 innings pitched, 6 Ks, only 3 hits. Audrey Lowry came in to relieve, pitched 1.2 innings and a save. Ella Parker hit home run number 100 for the team, which I believe was her 12th of the season. Fastest team in NCAA history to hit 100 home runs. In 2021, OU hit 100 homers in 36 games, which at that time was the fastest in NCAA history. But here we go, breaking our own records. For 2026, Sooners just hit number 100 in game 25. Game 2 on Sunday, 9-0 win over Abilene Christian, again in 5 with that run rule. 103 total home runs hit on the season at the conclusion of games this past weekend. Alyssa Parker, 2-run home run. Kendall Wells, another one, 2-run home run. Cassidy Pickering, home run. Sydney Berzon got the win in the circle. OU sits at a 24-2 record. We host Tulsa on Wednesday evening, so the day this episode drops, Wednesday, the 11th of March. And then we open up SEC conference play this coming weekend with Auburn at home. On Friday night, I will be there. If you're going to be there, hit me up. I would love to say hello. I do have a standing room only ticket. I usually stand along the third base line, so I would love to say hello. So a quick rundown again, 2026 Oklahoma softball by the numbers through week 5. This is from Seth Olivares on Twitter. 24-2 record, 5-1 in top 25 teams, 19 run rule wins, 339 runs scored, 69 runs allowed, 103 home runs, 135 hits, which is a .456 average, 156 walks, 8 shutouts, 10 errors, 123 Ks through the 145 innings pitched, and a 13-game win streak. Soccer, our spring schedule is out for the girls. They did have a spring game at home this past weekend, so I hope you'll get out. There's a couple of games in DFW also, I believe, in April. If you're a DFW Sooner, give their schedule a look and get out and support our girls. Our wrestling guys had the Big 12 tournament in Tulsa this past weekend. Sooners racked up 7 podium finishes, totaled 6 qualifiers to close out the Big 12 championship, and headed to Cleveland for the national championship on March the 19th through 21st. Is my guy DJ Parker, Tyler Wells, Carter Schubert, Juan Mora, Conrad Hendrickson, and Carter Schmidt. Also, this is how some of our guys finished place-wise in the Big 12. Peyton Keller in 8th, Carter Schmidt 7th, Tyler Wells 4th, Juan Mora 4th, DJ Parker in 4th as well, Carter Schubert in 4th, and Conrad Hendrickson in 5th place. On to tennis. Congratulations to our women's coach Audra Cohen for hitting 250 career wins. Our women hold steady with the number 19 team ranking. We also have several singles ranked in the top 100 and several doubles teams as well, including Julia Garcia Ruiz, who is ranked number 30 as a single. I am having her on the show later this month, so I hope you'll be sure and check out her episode. But our ladies had a great road trip this past week. Top 10 takedown on the road at Tennessee, 4-3, and then another takedown at Kentucky, 4-0. Next up for our girls, we return home to host number 30 Ole Miss Friday, March 13th at 5 p.m. And then they welcome number 4 LSU on Sunday, March 15th at noon. Our men's tennis is also ranked and have several singles and doubles players ranked in the top 75 as well. We did suffer a loss to Kentucky at home last Saturday, 3-4. And next up for our guys is at LSU on Friday, March 13th, and then at Texas on the 15th, and then they come back home on March 20th to host Auburn. Again, tennis is free, so make a point to get out and support our tennis. Bruno Naveen, he is working his senior season right now. I did have him on the podcast last summer. He's one of my favorite guys to follow, so I hope people go and give them your support. Track and field, next up, they had the past weekend off, but they have the NCAA Indoor National Championships this coming weekend, March 13th and 14th, and then the outdoor opener is at the TCU Classic on March 20th. Rowing, it's finally race week for our girls at the Oak Ridge Cardinal Invite this coming weekend, March 14th and 15th. So be sure and check their social media for all of those updates. And if you have any interest in learning more about the rowing program and touring their facilities, you have a couple of opportunities to do that this coming spring. In April, 2 open house events they announced on their social media. April 10th, which is a Friday at the Rowing Training Center in Norman from 4 6, and then on April 11th, that's Saturday at the Boathouse in Oklahoma City from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. You can check out the facilities, meet the staff, watch practice. So if you're interested, you can email katieroberts@ou.edu. I'm actually going to try to attend that on Friday the 10th in Norman. I would love to learn more about our rowing program, so I'm looking forward to doing that. So if you're going to check it out, let me know. I'd love to see you there. Our women's golf team had a final from Gainesville just this afternoon before I recorded this on Monday, March the 9th. The Sooners placed 5th at the Gator Invitational, led by top 19 finishes from both Savannah Barber and Reagan Cheney's. Next up for our girls are the Betsy Rawls Invitational in Austin next week on March 16th and 17th. Our men's golf posted its second lowest combined score over the final 36 holes at the Southern Highland Collegiate last weekend, but they unfortunately could not fully recover from a very difficult opening round, so they finished 6th. But we did have 2 Sooners, Ryder Cohen and PJ Maybank, record top 15 finishes in a field that featured 8 ranked teams, including the nation's top 4 in the latest rankings. The tournament also included 35 of the nation's top 100 players, so shout out to those guys for that. Next up for our golf guys is the Arizona Thunderbirds Intercollegiate in Tucson on March 16th and 17th. Also, just a reminder, we have lots of club sports at OU. We have hockey. They have wrapped up their season, but we have club lacrosse, men's and women's. We have men's club volleyball. We are also in the process of getting a women's flag football team. So be sure and check out all of their social media. I do share a lot of information about that on my Twitter/X and especially on my Instagram stories. I am at Sooner Girl Pod on all platforms, so go give me a follow. Again, I share a lot of that information, and as I share it, you can go and give them a follow as well. Okay, for my Sooner MVPs of the week. First of all, in case you missed it on social media, I have a new social media graphic to be posted each week that will list our Sooner MVPs of the week. Just kind of something I've been thinking about doing for a while, and I just think it's cool to give those programs all the recognition that they deserve. I'm able to tag them and share it on social media and give them a shout out. And so if you see this graphic, it will be shared on the weekends following the show release. Just go give those programs a follow and give them a share and give them some recognition. So this week's Sooner MVPs of the week, number 1, Kendall Wells. That girl's not human. OU softball. I read through all the numbers just moments ago. All of the home runs that we've hit as a team, Kendall Wells hitting on her own, just incredible batting averages and stats, just unreal. Shout out to the girls for that. And again, another shout out for our men's gymnastics team, breaking their own record from the previous week before, highest score of the season in the whole NCAA. And again, I know, don't sleep on men's gymnastics. I can't say it enough. Coach Mark Williams is truly one of the best human beings, one of the best coaches that you will ever know. He has a very decorated career. We have assistant coaches that are Olympians, former athletes. Again, our men's gymnastics program is the most decorated program on campus with 12 national championships. just truly incredible. So they, again, are one of my Sooner MVPs of the week. Okay, to wrap up the segment with the Sooner Fun Fact of the Week. Eldell Mitchell holds the records for the highest single season and career batting averages in OU history. Sooners Baseball Stadium was previously named after Mitchell, who went on to a 10-year major league career where he averaged .312. Now, I do want to throw, as most of us still know the baseball stadium as the Eldell Mitchell Park. It is now called Kimry Family Stadium in honor of the Kimry family, who donated, I believe it was $25 million to the renovation project of the stadium. So that is where that name came from, that name change. But I just want to thank you all again for the overwhelming support. Follow me on social media, share with friends, download, subscribe, all the things. You know where to find me at Sooner Girl Pod on all the platforms. Ladies, come join the locker room. We have an online huddle coming up next week on Monday, the 16th. Would love to see you. If you need information on that, shoot me a message. I'm happy to help. Merch. I'm sporting my tennis shirt today in honor of my guy Bruno. I got his name on the back, but there's lots of Sooner Girls Pod merch as well that you need to get. Hoodies, tees, long sleeves, hats, visors, stickers, sweatshirts, tank tops, all the things. I've even got a crimson color coming soon, so stay tuned on that. Soonergirl.bigcartel.com. But you can subscribe to my newsletter. It's part of my Substack. All of that is at my link in bio on all my social media platforms. You can find it all there on my link tree. Advertising opportunities if you would like to be a sponsor. Looking for some section sponsors for the Sooner Headlines of the Week, the Sooner Fun Fact of the Week. If you're interested in sponsoring those, you can email me at soonergirlsportspod@gmail.com. Again, all of that information is on my link in bio. So thank you all again for listening. And now on to what you all came for, my interview with the amazing Riley Zache. And as I listen back to this interview, again, this is one I interviewed and recorded earlier in the fall. I had every intention of getting this out earlier, and I kept sitting on it. Other things kept coming up. I try to make my interviews time relevant to the season and sports going on. And then here we are. And as I listen back to it, truly an amazing human being who has been through so much. And she's just so inspiring in her story. Riley Zache, sophomore outfielder catcher on the softball team at OU, originally from Niles, Michigan. She's a mathematics major, planning to get her master's in engineering. She was diagnosed with having bilateral senatorial hearing loss in both ears earlier last year. Her favorite Sooner memory is playing in the Women's College World Series. It had always been her dream, so having it realized was truly surreal to her. Again, just a reminder, she is redshirting this season due to various reasons, but she will be back and playing with her sister Berkeley, who's one of our pitchers, a freshman pitcher, next season, and we can't wait to have her back. So Riley, thank you again for giving me time on the show, for sharing your story. We wish you all the best as you continue to recover in all the ways this coming season. And we can't wait to see you back on the diamond. And I know you guys are going to enjoy this interview, and you're going to want to go follow her on social media. You can find her on Twitter/X at 23Zache. That's Zache. And you can also find her on Instagram at Zache Riley. Again, I'll put all that in the show notes, and we'll be tagging her on social media all throughout the week. So thank you guys again for listening. And I hope you enjoy my conversation with the amazing Riley Zache. I will see you next Wednesday. Have another fantastic interview coming up with our tennis player, Julia Garcia Ruiz. So I will see you then, where we talk sports. Well, thank you so much for giving me part of your time, because I know you're a busy gal. But I am excited to hear a little bit about your journey in softball, in life, and all the things. So, I don't know where you want to begin, but if you want to go back and talk about your softball journey as well, and then just your journey with hearing loss and how all of that came about. I saved a screenshot of your Instagram post because I thought that was really cool, and I love the photos that you shared that I stole with your hearing aids. I just think it's so cool that you're speaking up about that and just putting yourself out there and letting everybody know that it's okay to be yourself and take care of yourself and do what you need and all the things. So wherever you want to start,
I'll probably start with the softball. So
okay.
I was hitting off of a tee with my mom when my dad was at work when I was 18 months old. Granted, I was hitting lefty,
Wow.
and I'm pretty sure my hands were wrong on the bat. But I was there for a good time.
Right, yeah.
My whole family plays softball. My aunts played in college. My mom played in college. My sister.
Yes.
So it's kind of a family affair. But
Yes.
I played a lot of sports growing up. I swam a bit, played
Okay.
volleyball. I dabbled in a bit of everything. Basketball was not my friend, so that
Yeah.
lasted about a week.
You
But
tried.
I was like, why do they keep taking the ball from me? I'm like, I get the ball, I dribble, and I miss the shot every time. I'm like, I don't like this.
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna do something fun. So
Moving on. Yeah.
moving on to the next one, and then my sister and I played t-ball, and then my grandpa got cancer, so we moved back to Niles, Michigan, to kind of be with our family.
Okay.
He ended up passing away, so we ended up staying there. We started playing like the little league around there, except for it wasn't like totally little league. It's weird if I'm honestly gonna. Weird. I don't really know how to describe it. We did a little bit of travel ball, but we didn't start taking it serious until I kind of hit 6th grade, and I didn't like narrow it down to softball until COVID. But that's because it was either I drive to Chicago for softball and play locally for volleyball, or vice versa.
Okay.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of money. And it was
Yes.
school's very important. And me and my sister grew up going to private school, so it was like we're just gonna pick softball. We ended up playing for Illinois Chill, and we had to do a lot of driving back and forth to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a year at Chill, we moved to the Chicago Bandits with Bill Conroy.
Okay.
We were there for a few years, and it wasn't until like I hit high school where I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to like devote everything to this. Like I want to go to the next level. September 1st, all that stuff. Committed to play to OU. And then we moved from Beverly Bandits to Tennessee Mojo, and I kind of finished up my travel ball career there, and here we are.
Here we are. It's so crazy. I mean, I'm an OU alum. I grew up an OU fan. It's literally all I've ever known. And I have grown to love softball more over the years just because one, I think obviously it's more accessible. With me not being in Norman, for example, I can watch it now on TV more, and social media keeps you posted and all of that. So I feel like that has definitely helped the sport. But football's my first love. I will never deny that. But I will have to say softball's a close second. And when I was a student at OU, you were not born yet. But they still played across the street. I'm sure you've heard the stories at Reeves Park, at the city park. And it's just so crazy to see how far things have come. Not just OU, but the sport in general and just softball. And it's really cool to see how far it's come. And even now, like I hear more about travel ball teams and I recognize names and even sometimes coaches' names. And I don't have kids. I'm not in that scene at all. But it's just funny again, like the power of social media, I guess, and the popularity of the sport that's grown so much. And I'm sure you agree with me that Patty Gasso and Oklahoma have played a large role in that just for the sport of softball. So I'm sure that's something that led you to Oklahoma. Yeah. So what was it like getting recruited by Patty just in general? As far as that goes, like I've heard stories from other players on other podcasts and stuff about when they get a call from Patty or when they found out she was scouting them or whatever, just what that feeling is like knowing during that time frame we were starting the four-peat when you were in the process of getting recruited. And so that had to have made you feel pretty special.
So I originally was committed to play for the University of Missouri. So
Okay.
I committed, I think, September 18th, and then a year went by, and it didn't really feel like a good fit for me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't feel like home.
Yeah.
So I ended up decommitting a few days before my sister's visit to Oklahoma. I was like, I'm coming to this visit to be the supportive older sister.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here just to be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. That's kind of how it was. And then we came here, and Coach Gasso asked me about Missouri, and I was like, oh, so I decommitted. And so I know a lot went on behind the scenes. By the end of my sister's visit, she got her offer, and she kind of looked at me, and I'm like, girl, this is your decision. support you 100%. And then Coach Goss asked me about my grades and some of the other stuff. And then I got an offer. I was like, I was just kind of like, oh my gosh.
Surprise!
This is cool. So we ended up committing, but it was awesome because like I didn't walk into this expecting it. Like I saw them at the games that I was catching Berkeley, and like they saw me playing because we played for the same travel team. I was her catcher and all that stuff. I was just like, wow, okay, this is amazing. Like this worked out great. I mean, this is kind of an ideal situation, but it was just I couldn't even wrap my head around it honestly until I got here and like I was playing and like practicing and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is like legit. This is big time. Like it was amazing. Like I'm still kind of not even wrapping my head around it, but it's a great opportunity. I mean, I'm so happy for it, and it's like I worked my whole life because like every person's dream school, well, not every person, but my dream school growing up was Oklahoma, and it's like it was just that it was a dream. I mean, it's what I was working towards, but what happened. I mean, it's God's plan, not my plan.
Right.
And so, kind of how everything unfolded, I was like, this is the ideal situation for me. And it's like I've worked my whole life to be here in this uniform, and it's like it's just amazing. I mean,
it's your time to shine. Well, I remember last year seeing your family in the stands, and I usually stand over there behind the section above the dugout. That's my favorite place to be. And anyway, I just remember seeing your sister and your family and thinking, they always had your jerseys on or your shirt, and I love that. But how cool that you're going to get to play with her at OU at that next level. And like you said, it's a big deal. It's a big time place to be, and it's just really cool. I'm sure I can't even begin to fathom it to be able to play at that level with your sister. So I'm excited that you guys are going to get to play together. I'm sure that she is glad to be in Norman, and you've got a little bit ahead of her on the journey, so you can help get her along the way as well. But I'm so excited that she's there as well, and excited to see you girls together. And I know your family's glad to have you in one place.
Very happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare for sisters, a family, to end up on the same team at the next level like that. So super cool for you guys. I'm very excited to see you guys going forwards. And I'm ready for the season. Of course, fall ball's coming up. I will definitely be making an appearance at a game or two. And then here it'll be spring before we know it. So I know it's a little early, but how are y'all feeling going into fall ball? What are you thinking going into the season? Are everybody pumped, ready to go?
We're very excited. Time has just kind of flown since we got back on campus because we didn't realize Battle Series was starting in like a week or so. And we were all talking about that yesterday. I was like,
crap.
We start next week. I'm like, it's go time. Like this is what we've been working for, and I'm very excited for it. I know Coach is very excited for it. The whole team is very excited. It's going to be a great year. We got a lot of talent coming in, and everyone's bonding really well. It's just it's really fun, and like we all look forward to going to practice because we know no matter what, we're going to be enjoying ourselves, and it's going to be hard work, but it's going to be well worth it in the end.
Awesome. Well, that is good to hear, and I've heard nothing but good things about the coaching staff, and it's always good to hear when the players love to be together and get along and all of that. So that's definitely good to hear. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your journey with your hearing loss. I know this is a pretty recent thing for you, and wow, that's crazy to think that you grew up dealing with all the things, and it took you until you were 19 years old to get it all figured out. So like I said, I feel like this is something among many things, mental health being another, and just other things where it needs to be made aware that everybody has their issues and all the things to work through, and it's okay to talk about it. So I think putting yourself out there is very important for a lot of reasons. So yeah, let's talk about just that journey through your life and getting to that point and where you are with that today.
So it's a long journey. My parents always suspected there was something wrong, like because I would slur my words, like I kind of had a speech impediment, and even when I take these out, I still have a little bit of a one. Like some of the girls like bring it up, and I'm like, okay, yeah, now I'm more aware of it. I would always like tilt my head and stuff when listening, but it was just it was my coping mechanism that I didn't know any different. Nobody ever told
Right.
me any different. And so I just kind of went through my whole life like, wow,
Just is what it is. Yeah.
I always made the joke, yeah, it's like I'm deaf or something.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, I didn't think it would
Right.
actually like be what it is, but like in school, they might do this in public schools, but in my private schools, like we would get our hearing tested every
Yep.
2 years. I failed every test. They never sent home a slip or anything. And
Whoa.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, maybe I just had the headphones on wrong. Like and I knew I couldn't hear it because I was always looking at the lady, and she's like, "You don't hear anything?" I'm like, "No." So I just randomly start pressing the
Oh
buzzer,
my
hoping I was
goodness.
guessing right. And in school, it was just kind of like I heard what the teacher was saying, but it's like I didn't hear it. It was
Right.
I knew she was saying something, but I couldn't make out what was being said. I kind of describe it as like somebody having cotton balls in their ears.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like this muffled noise, and it's like you know something's being said, but it's like you don't know what's being said.
Right. Okay.
And so that's just kind of how it was. Like, even in high school, I failed the hearing test, but me and my sister always joked about that because I was like, if there was something wrong, they would have told me that. And it's like,
Right.
my grades didn't reflect anything was wrong. Like,
Wow.
I had straight A's, I had over 4.0s and honors and AP classes all throughout growing up. Like, there were never like any like high signs, minus the fact that I always was going, huh? Or can you
Wow.
repeat yourself? Like not fully making out what people are saying. So I was just kind of like, and that. But my parents always, we had parent teacher conferences. My parents would always ask me and my sister to leave the room because they would discuss this with our teachers. And it's like her grades are fine. She's interacting with the other students are fine. She seems to be fine. There's nothing wrong. So
Wow.
I just kind of figured out how to deal with it. I got really good at reading lips. I stopped paying it. I didn't not pay attention in class, but I would tune out what the teacher was saying because it was harder for me to try and make out what they were saying than to just read the textbook or watch what they're doing on the board and
Makes
figuring
sense.
it out. And
Makes
I
sense.
still do that now in school. Like I will sit there in class and I'll be like, okay, I can't understand what the teacher's saying. And I'm like, I'm going to get confused if I'm sitting here trying to decipher what they're saying and miss the entire point of the lecture. So now it's like, I'm just going to make out what I can. And if I can't make anything out, I'll just take some extra time while doing the homework or before to really try and learn it. So that's just kind of how it was my whole life. And yeah, I got to school, was really struggling to hear my roommates. Like Tia Malloy, she kind of jokes about me now. She's like, yeah, I kind of suspected something, but you can't like go up to somebody and tell them. And I'm like, you knew? And she's like, I figured there was something, but you can't just go say that. And she's like, and if there was an issue, you would have picked up on it. And I'm like, okay. So it really got to a point where like Gabby, she was my suite mate, so she lived next door, and she just thought I was ignoring her, and I'm like, no, dude, I swear to God, I'm not hearing you. Like, I'm ignoring you. Like, genuinely hearing you. And she would like come in, knock on my door, didn't hear, so she'd open my door, and she'd like be like, Riley, and I'm like, oh, what do you do? Have you been home? Like, it was. And even when it got to like classes, I couldn't understand any of the professors, and it's like the big lecture halls now, so it's like I'm really struggling. And then I get to practice this, and it's like it's really windy and all that stuff, and it's like I couldn't hear coach, and I was constantly like repeating what coach was saying because that's another thing I do is I repeat what somebody says to make sure I heard them right. And well, I kind of hit the point in the fall. I was like, there's something going on. Like, because everyone's telling me I shouldn't be missing what I'm saying. Everyone shouldn't be saying I'm ignoring them. I'm like, there's something going on. So I call my mom. I'm like, I need my hearing checked. And she's like, well, can't you do it at school? I was like, I want to get this done at home just because I want to be with my family if there is something.
Absolutely.
So I get home. We go to Costco because it's like a long wait to go get it done. And I'm like, I got a month to figure this out.
How crazy.
After Christmas, go get my hearing checked, and I'm sitting there, and the guy is kind of making a face, and I'm like, that's not the face of something good you have to say.
Right.
I know I missed a few things, and I didn't hear a few things right, but it can't be that bad. No. I'm sitting there, Berkeley's sitting there, and my mom's sitting there, and he goes, you have hearing loss. And I'm like, what? And he goes, you have hearing loss. And I kind of look at my mom, and she kind of looks at me. Well, Berkeley starts laughing. That's a known fact now. He was like, you also have a pressure problem in your right ear. So my right ear, how I know I'm sick now is my ear doesn't pop. So like I literally can't hear out of my right ear when I'm sick. And it's like I can't hear after I fly out of my right ear. So turns out there were quite a few things wrong. And so he's like, do you want to try hearing aids right now? I went, no, I need this to sit. We walk out and I start crying. I'm like, Mom, anyone know this? I'm like, I've never heard of a collegiate deaf softball player. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, everything is different now. And I'm like, how much of the world have I been missing? And she's just kind of saying, she's like, it's fine. We're going to figure it out. You're going to text your athletic trainer back to Norman. We're going to get this all figured out.
Yeah.
And I text our athletic trainer and I'm like, I have hearing loss. And she's like, seriously? And I'm like, I sent her the thing. I'm like, yes, I have hearing loss. And she's like, okay, I'll figure out like the people you need to talk to down here to get the hearing aids, to get all your documents down here. At that point, my sister's still making jokes about, I'm like, dude, no, it's not the time.
Right. I mean, that's some big news to hear. Let's not make a joke out of it yet, sister.
That's our sister. Like, that's our relationship. Is like,
yes.
So I was like, I know she's trying to make me feel better, but it's like, I feel like my entire world just got turned upside down. And it's like,
I can imagine.
So we order some like temporary hearing aids after Amazon just so I can kind of get an idea of what it's going to be like when I get them. So that way I have some idea. So the like adjustment period isn't as bad because your body has to completely reset itself. It takes 6 months for your body to completely reset itself with bilateral senatorial hearing loss. Like this is the number one like ranked priority disability on, I think it's the ADA or something like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The disability thing. And it's like because of how much it affects you, like my body has to be completely realigned. Like I couldn't walk after I got hearing aids. I kept tripping and falling. Like I would be running bases in practice and I'd just eat it and I'd be like, I was like, how can I even do this? Like it was so frustrating for me. And it's like I came out of high school in my summer where I did really well, and it's like I just feel like I'm not showing my potential or anything. I feel like I'm digging myself a hole I can't get out of. So it's a really mentally challenging time, but I came down here, saw the specialist, got it tested so they knew exactly what was wrong, got my hearing aids fitted. That's a weird process in and of itself.
I can imagine.
I'll just throw that out there, but it was fine. Had to figure out which ones I wanted. I went with these ones that are like, they just kind of, they look like AirPods. So like they just fit in your ear. It connects to the phone and stuff. Like I can listen to music and stuff. So it's cool. It's really handy, but it's just, and there's like a bunch of different settings, so I can change it like to crowd setting when I'm playing in the stadium. So
makes sense.
It's a lot less But I first put them on for the first time, and my family started laughing. And went, wow, I see why everyone says we're so loud. That was the first thing I said, and my mom went, really? Yeah.
So a very loud person talking and laughing, so I totally relate to that.
I was like, dang, I see what everyone means now. I was like, we're not that loud. No, yes, we are.
Oh, we really are.
So that was an adjustment, but hearing everything for the first time, all the way down to hearing people's jerseys rubbing like against each other. I was like,
now you're hearing too much.
Like everything threw me off. Like Loves is louder than I thought it was, and it's like,
gosh, yeah.
And even when I do have the hearing aids, like everyone assumes, oh, it's fixed. Like you can hear everything. No, I still can't hear stuff. Like that's just kind of how it is. Like I can hear better, and like I can turn them up so that way like everything's amplified even more. But it's like I still struggle to hear sometimes, especially in like crowds and stuff, like football stadiums.
Oh yeah,
it's just easier for me to not wear them in a football stadium.
I can imagine.
So it's like. It was quite the adjustment period, and it honestly took until I got back to Norman from the summer to finally be like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm confident with these. Like, I feel great and all that stuff. Like, it took a really long time, and it's like, now I feel like the athlete I am again. Like, my body's totally good. I'm not tripping and falling anymore. That was really embarrassing for a while, if I'm being honest. But
well, I can imagine.
But happy with him now, and I'm happy I'm confident in him because I was really self-conscious. I always wore my hair down when I first got him. Like people would be like, oh, you have hearing aids? And I'd be like, yeah. Like I'd be really awkward with it. Like I didn't even really want to tell the team at first. Like I sat down with Coach Gasso about it for a while because I was like, I feel like I don't understand why it was like I don't understand why God's doing this to me. I was like,
I get that.
I was really a bitter person for a while because I was like, this just makes everything 10 times harder. And she's like, God's not doing this to you. He's giving you a voice to go share your story with people. She's like, go share your story so you can be an inspiration to people. She's like, this isn't a disability for you. She's like, be an advocate. And
The
I'm like,
platform. Yeah, it's a very good way to look at it.
I was
But
like,
not what you want to hear at the time necessarily, I know.
I was like, I don't want to tell people about this.
Yes.
Sarah's like, I mean, give me like a few months, but right now I don't think I can do this yet. And now I'm Sarah, like, no,
I got it. Yeah.
you know what you're doing.
That's right. That's right.
And so it was just, it kind of hit a point where I got back to school and I was like, I think it's time for me to tell my story because it's like I would be working camps, people like, oh, those are new AirPods. What are those? And I'd be like, they're the expensive kind. These
Yeah.
are the bougie AirPods. And that's just kind of how it was. I was like, I'm tired of having to explain myself. And it's like, I feel bad when like I'm talking to fans, I'm constantly having to, huh? Or like repeat yourself
Yeah.
and like not being able to like feel comfortable enough to tell them I can't like it's not a you thing. This is 100% a me thing.
Yeah.
But like, don't get frustrated with me. Just bear with me. Like, don't say never mind. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying my best and it's like, I'm sorry. And so I kind of texted my mom for a while and she's like, you really should be an advocate for this. She's like, you feel comfortable in yourself now, right? And I'm like, well, yeah.
Yes.
I was like, you're right. So I spent a few days trying to figure out what to say, the words to say, because like I didn't want to phrase anything wrong. I didn't want to offend anybody. Like,
Right. That's
because
understandable.
I know there's deaf culture and there's a bunch of stuff, and I was worried the deaf community wouldn't be totally accepting of me, but I was
Makes
also
sense.
worried that people were gonna start looking at me differently and start like just speaking louder and all that stuff, just randomly like standing next to me and just really laying it on, and I'm kind of like,
Right.
that's not what I want. I want you. I'm throwing it out there just so people know.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
so I finally did it, and I turned off my phone. Well, I texted my mom and said I did it. I turned off my phone. I was in class when I hit post. I sat there, and then my mom texted me back on my computer, and I went, "Wait, what?" Because she's like, "Look at what people are saying." I'm saying, "I'm like, oh no!" And so I turned my phone back on. I look at it. I'm like, "This is not what I expected at all." Like people were messaging me on Messenger, DMing me, and a bunch of stuff, and I was like, "Oh, this is not what I expected." And even still, I'm like, I keep telling my mom, I'm like, I didn't expect this. Like, I went to the Oklahoma School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, and I was like, everyone was just so welcoming there. I was like, it made my heart so happy, and it made me so happy to be able to see, like, how I was so scared to do something, and it's like, now everyone's welcoming me with open arms, and I'm like,
yes.
It's just a nice little pivot in my story because I was so scared and so worried for a long time, and now it's like I feel like I'm a part of a community, and it's like it makes me really happy where I'm at now, and I feel a lot better. And like the coaches and everything, when I posted it, came up to me and told me I did a great job, I said it right. Like all the girls came up and gave me a hug, and I was like,
oh, I love it.
This is the right thing. I was like, I did a right thing, and like a lot of people are wanting to come to games now. Like there's a lot of deaf softball players that are growing up. They're like, yeah, we're coming to the games, and I want to meet you. And I'm like,
that's
really?
Amazing. I love it.
It makes me so happy. I was like, this is not what I expected at all, and I'm not complaining. This makes me so happy to know I can be this for people because I didn't have.
Super cool. Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Yep, that's just the long version.
No, that's perfect. Well, like you said at the beginning, how it takes your body 6 months at least to kind of calibrate and get used to things. And I mean, that's basically what you described for yourself, and how when you got back to Norman, and now you feel a little more like it's part of you. And I think that kind of helped your journey and pushing you along mentally, because like you said, it's a big deal. It's a big life change, and you have to mentally soak it in, so to speak, and accept it yourself before you can be willing to put yourself out there. And now you've gotten to that point, and that's really cool. Because like you said, that Coach Gasso had told you that you can be an advocate now, and the Lord has given you that as an additional platform for you to use, like you said, to reach these kids that may not have anybody else to relate to. And I was going to ask you how it affected your softball game, which you did discuss. But that's really crazy to think about after you got your hearing aids, and back to the recalibrating part, like you said, like just how that affected you. That's just crazy. And I can only imagine how discouraging that was for somebody who's played since you were 18 months old, basically. And now all of a sudden you're like, I was supposed to be making things better, and now this is getting worse. I cannot imagine. So kudos to you for pushing through that. I mean, obviously, like, I know that you knew you had the physical talent, but that was a lot of mental work you had to do to push past all of that to get. So, oh my gosh. Well, now I just can't wait to watch you run around the bases.
And I was following you. We've been scrimmaging. I'm like, I'm going strong.
I love it. Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
no snipers have gotten me yet. I'm doing good.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, I cannot imagine. Like you said, just being in a stadium, how loud it is, and being at Love's Field, it's extremely loud in there. So I can just imagine the adjustment period that you had to go through on for all the things. So my goodness. But I'm so glad you shared your story because, like I said, there's a lot of people that can relate to you, and maybe it will give them the courage to say, hey, I need help myself, or I know someone who does, or hey, I can play softball too. Because I'm sure there's a lot of kids who struggle with a lot of things that think, oh, I can't do my sport because I have whatever. And people like you standing up and saying, hey, you can do it. You got to push through all this stuff. That's incredible. So kudos to you for having the courage to do it. Because I know that was a hard journey for you. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for sharing it. So, well, anything else you want to share on anything before I let you go?
I just like to put emphasis again on like hearing aids are like a band-aid to the issue, but it's like at the same time I know it's frustrating for me, but it can also probably be frustrating for a bunch of others where it's like you're in the softball environment and it can be hard to play, but like just in everyday life with hearing aids, like I can't have them in certain class settings because I can hear the teacher next door, and it's like sometimes these are making things a little bit harder for me to do. Just kind of putting emphasis on reminding people that just because we have the hearing aids doesn't make it any easier. It's just it's helping us a little bit, but be patient with us. Don't get frustrated with us. Like, don't say never mind. That honestly hurts me more than anything when I'm like, wait, what did you say? Oh, never mind. And I'm like, like it gets frustrating sometimes, and it's just like at the end of the day, we're still people. Like, of course we still feel things, and it's like when you kind of invalidate us for things that we can't control, it's very hard. It's very frustrating, and it's just I just be kind to everyone and all that stuff. Like they say in Superman, punk rock is the new kind. Like it's like just be kind, and it's like be patient because you don't know what people are going through. Like I didn't even know what I was going through, and it's like I had to be patient with myself for such a long time, and I had to give myself so much grace because I was getting frustrated. And it's like don't get frustrated with us for things. Like if you think there's an issue and you don't want to be like, oh, well, I can't just walk up to somebody and say that. You're helping them. Like be an advocate for them. If you think there's an issue, say something. But it's like be kind. There are people out there today, and it's like just be patient. Like we all struggle with something, and it's just
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I love that. And thank you for sharing your story because, like I said, I think it's a good platform for you to help people who struggle with things as well. And then, like you said just now, a good reminder to everybody else like we all have something, and be patient with everybody because it's like the little meme that I always see that goes around, to be kind to people because everybody's going through something and you may not know or see what it is. And that's just a good reminder. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that.